All right, a prominent local economist has found himself and his family trapped in Russia. Chief economist at the Efficient Group Dawie Roodt is married to a Russian citizen, and they had gone to attend a family event. He joins us right now. Dawie, thank you very much. Firstly, where are you right now?
Well, good evening, good afternoon to you. I am in Moscow at the moment. So I am, I think somewhere in the south of Moscow. We just got off the metro, the underground, in the process of applying for new passports for the kids. So we are in Moscow at the moment. I am in one of these rather fancy high-rise areas, and they are everywhere playing like what you see in the background for kids, for the kids to play, these sort of areas where the kids can play. But at the moment, I am in Moscow.
All right, thank you for bringing us a view from the ground. So you went to attend this event. I mean, how long have you been trying to get out?
Well, that is we going for 3 days now. What happened is that our kids, we've got twins. They are Russian citizens as well, South African and Russian citizens. And what we were not aware of is that Russian citizens can only travel on Russian travel documents. That means Russian passports. And they came into Russia with South African passports, and when we wanted to leave, for some weird reason, they realized that they are Russians and they're not allowed to leave because they do not have Russian passports. And that meant that I found myself with a semi-hysteric wife and 2 crying children in the middle of the night on an airport without a cent, because remember, there are sanctions against Russia. My credit cards simply do not work, and nowhere to go to in the middle of the night, quite literally on the airport. I mean, that was a bit of a scary moment. Fortunately, we still had our Russian SIM cards, and we contacted some local people that we do know, and they brought us some money and they booked us into a place to sleep. And we moved from there after we moved into a flat of one of the family members of my wife.
Sure. So this isn't about sanctions, although that is affecting your credit card.
Yes.
The airline's not flying. It's nothing about that. It's your children not having passports. So yeah. This is a law that has always been in place. It's not something new in Russia. You just didn't know about it. Is there a scramble to get them passports right now?
Yes. Fortunately, we know some people, but it takes a couple of days. So we've applied, we've gone through the whole process, and we're waiting for the passports. And with a bit of luck, we can get the passports perhaps tomorrow or so. And then we have to get on a plane to get back to South Africa again. So yeah, the process has been going on.
So Dawie, you flew into a country at war, although apparently on the ground it's been spun in a different way in Russia. What was that like?
Well, and we went for a wedding. We went to a city called Sochi, and Sochi is the city where the previous Winter Olympic Games were held. It is a beautiful place on the Black Sea, not too far from the Ukraine. It's a hustle and bustle. It's getting closer to the holiday season now. It's a lot of people around. They're fixing everything. There's absolutely no talk about a war, nothing. The same in Moscow. The economy, as an economist, I keep an eye open for these sort of things. The economy keeps on ticking on. There's surplus of everything. There's no shortages whatsoever. Petrol costs less than half of what it costs in South Africa, as an example. Most things are generally cheaper here than what you pay for in South Africa, as an example. So there's absolutely no sign of a war. Speaking to the people and trying to get a sense on whether they support this or not, people are sort of indifferent, and that really surprised me, is that people didn't really talk about it. You do see on the news reporting of the war in the Ukraine, but not really that much. And people are quite indifferent, and later at night, sometimes you start getting people to talk, and they have various views on that. And I think you're probably going to ask me, are they in favor or against the war? And I think that's a wrong question, because there are many aspects to this. There are many moving parts in this. They are fiercely nationalistic. Some people are in favor of the war, part of the war. They're referring to Donbass and to the Crimea and what's been happening there previously. Some people are very much in support of the president. Some people are not. So there are various different views here. But I think that overall I was quite surprised to see that people are quite indifferent about what's going on there.
So this is fascinating. You're saying that virtually no economic impact can be felt, definitely where you are. Well, what about the reports we're hearing that there's misinformation, that it's not being called a war at all? Are people getting the information about the impacts around the world, the impact on the oil price, the impact on food exports. Are they understanding what is happening in Ukraine, do you think?
Yeah, yes, I do think they know. Perhaps, of course, there's a lot of misinformation here, like in anywhere else. In fact, I came across Western websites that reported about the explosions in and around Moscow, and that is simply untrue. I spoke to taxi drivers, and they are quite often the best source of information. There are no explosions and things around Moscow. But really what caught my eye, that really was quite clear to me, is that people are quite indifferent, and that really came as a surprise. But they are aware of the war, and what is also clear is that the Russians are also aware of misinformation. They know about fake news, and they're also not always sure on what they can believe.
All right, fascinating. Thank you for that view, Dawie, and at least you're safe, and we wish you the best of luck in getting out of Russia.
Thank you.
That was Economist from the Efficient Group, Dawie Roodt.